everyone, this is Maki. Today we are going to talk about some small Gundam news and have a casual chat. We'll discuss the news about Yoshiyuki Tomino, the creator of the Gundam series interacting with children, and analyze the comments of Mitsuo Fukuda, the director of the Seed series. Please note that Fukuda's comments contain spoilers for the movie Gundam Seed Freedom. Are you ready? Hit the subscribe button and think about your favorite Gundam series. Will your opinions agree with Mr. Tomino's? Mr. Yoshiyuki Tomino, the creator of the Gundam series and director of various subsequent works, appeared in a local news segment with children. It's heartwarming to see someone who created such a world-renowned series willingly engage with children for their report. When asked Mr. Tomino, "What did you like when you were a child?" he replied, "I wasn't good at sports, and I didn't like to study. What I liked was the moon. From elementary school to middle school, I studied desperately to find a way to go to the moon. I learned all the knowledge I needed to create Gundam during that time. What surprised me was that most adults who make anime don't know much about science. Tomino's portrayal of Gundam incorporates as much scientific accuracy as possible. Even in casual scenes, such as people moving in space, you can see his knowledge being applied. Elements such as the rotating pseudogravity generator on space battleships and the use of wires for movement have influenced many other anime." When asked what is your favorite work, he replied, "There are very few works I've created that I really like. Unless a work is commercially successful, I can say that I've done my job. To avoid public disapproval, I often say Gundam is my favorite when mentioning the original title of Gundam. However, this feeling is half a lie. Tomino often gives harsh evaluations of his own works. For example, the package of the Vui Gundam disc version had a comment that said this work is not worth watching, so do not buy it. While this response may seem a bit twisted, it also reveals his honest feelings if you read between the lines. He is implying that the good work is one that is commercially successful, which reflects his professional attitude. As everyone knows, Gundam is indeed a commercially successful series. So, based on what he said, Mr. Tomino must like the Gundam series. Even though it didn't receive great reviews at the time of its release, it has since accumulated a lot of fan praise to reach its current status. When he says my fondness for Gundam is half a lie, it also means half of my fondness is true. Tomino is also famous for his attitude as a creator of always taking on new challenges. The ideas presented in the Gundam series are all fresh and interesting. Behind his words, half a lie seems to be the feeling that I will come to like the next work I create. A child asked, "What kind of anime do you want to make next?" This is a question that fans are also curious about. I have about 3 new stories in my head. However, they are top secret company information, so I can't reveal them. This is one of the rules of the adult world. That's a very welcome answer. If it were just Tomino's personal ideas, he might have answered right then and there. But mentioning company secrets implies that these stories are developed with companies like Sunrise. Another question from a child was, "What do you do when things don't go well?" I just keep doing it. When I conceived the Gundam anime, I thought it wouldn't be entertaining if it didn't have sword fights. I had to have the enemies and allies fight at close range. Space unlike Earth, has vast empty areas, so I created the Minovsky particles that disrupt missile guidance. This is a key element in the Gundam series. There was also a discussion about another key element of the Gundam series. Why are they humanoid? One child asked, "What did you think about the life-size Gundam?" I wanted to see it take a single step. It was not possible to make him walk. But when something reaches that size, it becomes a structure rather than a vehicle. Humanoid forms are not suitable for large moving objects due to inefficiency. So why do humanoid vehicles appear in the Gundam universe? It's because space is empty. Having humanoid machines gives people psychological comfort. Mobile suits were originally industrial tools designed to build habitats in space. The size also has a reason. The size of the Gundam was determined to provide enough space for the pilot to live in the cockpit for about a week in case of being stranded in space. Why are the mobile suits humanoid? It's because of the human psyche. The human mind contains many irrational and inefficient elements. Because they were created by humans, mobile suits were born as humanoid machines. We fans tend to look at the Gundam world from a scientific perspective. However, it's important to consider the irrational human psyche that gave birth to these creations. The Principality of Xi'an, which waged a war of independence against humanity in space, used humanoid mobile suits as their weapons. These humanoid machines provided psychological support to the space dwellers. As the war intensified, the Principality of Xi'an introduced mobile armors, which were non-humanoid machines, to the battlefield. Analyzing the transition from humanoid to non-humanoid machines in the context of Mr. Tomino's words could be quite interesting. Now let's look at Mr. Mitsuo Fukuda's comments on Gundam Seed Freedom. This is about the performance of the Destiny Gundam Spec 2 in the final battle. Previously, I talked about the fighting techniques on my show. What did Mr. Fukuda say? It is a little hard to understand, but the Destiny Gundam damages the Black Knight's armor with its beam boomerang. Then it hits the damaged area with a large beam cannon to destroy it. Beam weapons do not work on femtech armor. So the beam cannon in the palm of the hand is used in a process where it first pushes a handbrake into the enemy's interior and then fires. That was my idea during the production phase. This is the first time we've heard of the Palma Valkyria being used as a handbrake to stop the opponent. In fact, the hands of the Destiny Gundam, which uses phase shift armor, are highly resistant to physical impact. Some fans may have wondered why the Destiny Gundam, which has a beam rifle and a large beam cannon, also has a beam cannon in its palm. However, the feature of a gun barrel protected by phase shift armor is unique compared to other weapons. In fact, there was a scene in Sea Destiny where he destroyed the Slayer whip of the Gulf ignited by grabbing it with his palm. That wouldn't have been possible with a beam rifle or a beam cannon. Even the final details are created by inheriting the genes of past works. Now we are producing a program that analyzes Kiro's tactics in the final battle. We will continue to release programs that provide explanations and analysis of the Gundam series. Please look forward to them. Thank you for watching to the end. See you in the next show.